Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. I want to go a little bit further into the scheme. We are going to get into from Y off trips, Washington Commanders Playbook. I should have went over RPO Glance Counter Post, but I want to get into RPO Counter Alert Shock here. And I've been loving this play. Let's just get right into it. So, that's what you want to do in a scheme. In a scheme, what I like to do is, I'll start off with one play and then I'll layer that with something else that kind of complements that play. And then, I'll play games against opponents online until I run into a particular problem that none of the plays that I have solve. And then I'll look for something from that formation or a way to incorporate a different play to help solve that problem. And then you'll keep going again and it'll cycle again until you run into another problem. And then you add something else, right? And then you just have a whole scheme that's, can deal with any problem, right? And that's how I go about my game. That's why I'm really, really good in spread because, I've been running it for years. So I know, how to deal with certain problems. But again, I've been diving in a new type of scheme. So now I'm going to add this to my game, to my spread game in the long run, right? Okay, so I went over this play. Obviously, we're running counter. Here, we have the glance route on the backside. Now, this is the early on days of me running this game. By now, I should have said from the scheme, I like to motion this player in to a reduced split so he can get to the point of attack quicker on the glance route. Okay, so this was early on. I wasn't utilizing this. Well, right away, this is, to me, one of the concepts that punishes bad position the most is RPOs. Okay, so when you play against opponents who aren't aligned properly or they don't have a cover down on a receiver, they're not aligned right, RPOs is king because it gashes so many problems. Like, look at this issue here, right? So yeah, you stuff the box. He has, what's that, 8 players in the box? That's fine. He's in single high, but you don't have a cover down on this receiver, number one. That's fine. And then number two, because you're in single high, if you're telling the truth post snap, we know that he cannot drive on this hitch. He can't, right? And the reason why that is because he's the outer shell of the coverage. If he drives on this route and he's wrong, then that's just an open touchdown, right? No resistance to the end zone. Okay. So, I stated this in so many videos. It may be bad advice, but it's been good for me for 8 years playing Madden, guys. When it comes to the outer shell of the coverage, I almost don't pay attention to them when I'm running a lot of different passing concepts. If I'm running a passing concept to attack them deep down the field, then yeah, I pay attention to them. But if I'm running something underneath, then I just take them out of the picture. And it makes it easier for you to see where to throw the ball and who you are targeting in the play, right? So who we're targeting in this play is the second defender in. He's the only one who can get in the window of this throw. And really, theoretically, he should not be able to get in the window of this throw. But he's the only one who can impact the throws here, right? So what we're going to do is we're not going to run this ball, right? We can't run it because of the box issue, but we can throw outside. So I'm not running it. When I snap the ball, I'm looking at him the whole time. I'm not even looking at him, guys. All right. So I know it may be uncomfortable to do this, but I've probably thrown something like this 2,000 times, and I've maybe thrown an interception 10 times, maybe. Right? And most of the time, I would imagine it's because of just terrible Madden mechanics where the corner warps or magically knows what's going on. And they're getting better and better with this as Madden carries on. So it's less likely that it'll happen. All right? You may not believe me. I'm not even looking at him. I don't care, right? I'm looking at him. And the second he pins inside and he's not flaring out, I'm just throwing that outside one every single time. Right? We throw it. and it's just an extension to the run game, 6 yards, right? You may say, well, that's a puny gain. If you ran the ball and got 6 yards, that's a good game, right? First down to 2nd and 4, run it again, first down. Run it again, 2nd and 4, run it again, first down, right? It's just an extension to the run. All right, so we'll move on because I want to get to the alert shock play. All right, and again, it's the same. Now, here's a mistake I always do in Madden. I run plays as they are on the screen. What I mean by that is I select a play, and theoretically, I should be running this on the wide side of the field, I think. Maybe not because the throw is shorter, right? So that's something to think about, okay? But we do have less space over here, so it's something to think about. All right, so maybe you should run this more to the wide side. But I digress. We're going to go ahead and run it again. Snap the ball. I'm not looking at him, right? Looking at him, and I know that this outside throw is there every single time, right? And you'll see what happens here. I'll press circle because that's what I'm trying to throw here. You see how he's open? And I pressed it at the wrong time, and it hands it off, so I do a spin. So that's just really annoying with Madden. Just very annoying. But, you know, if you run this, you'll get used to it, and you'll know, you know, when you're supposed to time the circle route. Maybe it was like lagged from the game online, which is kind of annoying, right? But let's get into the play. So one thing I've noticed with Y-off trips is because we're in a 4x1 set, guys, when they're in like cover 3, which is a single high defense, they come out in a 2 high shell. Okay, so when you actually do get this single high pre-snap look, the majority of the time it's cover 1 man, unless they showed 3, right? So whenever you get this, now I know it's some type of cover 1 man. I'm pretty sure he was doing this because I was gashing him when he was in double high with the RPO. I really, man, I'm telling you, an RPO type offense, I don't even know what you can do, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different things. Obviously, you could run like a quarters type set. You get more in the box and run more like stubby and palms, stuff like that. But then, you know, you kind of force them to run something like that, and then you can attack them. Like with stubby, you can attack, I think the follow concept would be good against that, thinking about it now. Let me just, I'm just going off the rails already, all right? So when I see single high, this is when I like that shock play that we're going to get into. And it's a beautiful play to attack single high man, right? So, you know, I've run in that stuff that I was telling you, RPO, counter, glance, you know, and then someone starts checking in a single high, and now I really don't like that play, single high man, right? Because, you know, you don't like the glance route against single high with man-to-man on the outside. They have enough in the box to help in the run, you know, and then you can still throw this on the outside. But the problem is when they press on the outside, now you can't throw those, right? So, I mean, that play is still, you can run it against cover 1 man if they're playing off cover 1 man. But when they're playing cover 1 press, now you run into issues. And that's where I love this play. And I love this play against cover 1 man in general. This is a cover 1 man destroyer, this play here, right? And the added benefit of being in a 4x1 formation and they're showing single high, we know that they're probably in cover 1 man. So I check into this play. And what I'm doing with this play is I'm really eyeing this defender. I'll go ahead and run it. So I think I just go ahead and ran it here. And we'll get into just a poetic feel of this play when I see this, right? Now I know you're in cover 1 man, and I know that you're pressing this receiver, right? So I'm like, all right, let me check into my play. So we have so many options in this play. Literally every single route in this play is open. I don't remember looking at these in the replay, but I can tell you right now, we should be able to throw both of these. Now he should run a hitch against like off. And I would assume, I haven't ran it, if he gets pressed, I would assume he runs this fade pattern. I haven't even checked that out in this play. So it's something I want to check out, right? But I know you're in cover 1 man, so the benefit of this as well, too, is he's off the LOS as opposed to being on the LOS. So he has more space to run this route and beat the jam at the LOS. Snap, and so I'm looking at the defender the entire time, and the second I see him press, I know I'm throwing this route. You may be afraid of this player, right? But again, because we know it's some type of cover one man, we know that you're tied to this hitch, right? This is what I love about the RPO action in this game. It forces you to kind of know what's going on before it happens to throw it. You can't just wait until you see it open and then throw it. It kind of shows like the person who throws something like this has an understanding, like I knew what was going on before it happened. And when you throw this against an opponent, there's no better feeling, right? So we throw it, and you kind of got to lead it away. And we just get a poetic touchdown on that play, right? So imagine implementing this with RPO glance counter, right? Double high, we're punishing you with the RPO action. If we don't like the front, we're punishing you with the duo play. And then we have a play action to go off of that play. And then you start going into single high, cover one man to slow it down. And then we check into something like this. Oh, and by the way, we can shift into empty. I'm telling you, you can put so much pressure on your opponents with these type of plays, right? So I see single high man again. And, I just wanted to show this because let's pay attention to this. Because you're so far, like, think about it. Because he's off, man, outer shell of the coverage, I'm only worried about this player to get in the window of this throw, right? And with the RPO action and you having a run fit, when we snap the ball and we show the ball as if we're going to run it, it makes it even harder for him to get out there because he's put in a conflict with the run, right? So I believe I threw to the front side. See, I mean, look at this here. We could throw this every single time. I don't remember what I did here. I did, right? So I was on my game. You see how he just cannot impact the throw. The second we see him go inside, we can throw this hitch every single time. And we pick up 12 yards. And I think he was disguising coverage. Cover 2 invert hard flat. So let's go back, right? Some players may say, well, hey, he was in a flat. Why was that open? And it's because of position. See, yes, he was disguising coverage, but one of the weaknesses of disguising coverage is being out of position. Yeah, he's defending the flat, but he's too far away to impact that throw on a quick hitch like that, right? And he's bailing. So we make our reads, make a turn, big play. So I think I only have a couple of more clips here. Again, this is same deal here. So, looking at this now, instead of throwing this side, I should just throw this like every single time, right? And then when you get a press with this look, then look to throw this over here, right? And after snapping the ball, if this looks murky and you don't like it, then maybe you can throw out here knowing that he's playing off man. But looking at this is open every single time. I stay with the run that time. I think I only have 2 more clips here, and then we'll be done with this play. Yeah, so I'm 17-3 online right now. 2 of my games were DCs. Both of them I was winning, so that's kind of annoying. This was the one game that I lost, honestly. And I respect his game. He played an honest game. He wasn't a cheeser. He even got on the mic at the end of the game. He got a critical first down, and he tried to waste the clock from 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, I think it was. He got on the mic. He was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I can't let you get the ball. Your offense is I just can't, right? He was just being, he was just giving me props, I guess. I didn't get on the mic and say anything because I would have to plug in everything, but I just want to goes to show you, you could build an offense where people respect and make it, hard for them to deal with, right? So double high, he shifts into single high. And this is where I'm like, all right, let me go to my alert shock play. Oh, when I saw that press, game over. Snap. Just just poetry there, right? So I believe that's the end of this video, guys. RPO Counter Alert Shock. Implement this into the play. This is into the scheme. And you know, if you just watch these videos to see how I implement things, then you know you can see why I do things, right? So maybe you're not doing this scheme, but you just like to watch it, and you kind of see why I like to throw stuff like this in it. I run plays that's good against base type coverages, cover 4, 2 zone, 2 man, 0, 3, and 1, right? And then when I run into a problem that an opponent presents, then I incorporate more plays in the scheme to deal with that problem. And then that's how I continue to build my scheme, right? That's how I go about building a scheme in Madden, guys. All right, so I'll leave it at that. I hope you got something from this video. I hope you like the play, and I hope you keep coming back for more, man. Peace.